Hey, it's Steve Perry. People know me for the high notes, the bright lights, and the anthems that still echo through stadiums today. They know the voice, but behind the soaring melodies of Open Arms and Faithfully, there is a heavy, melancholic silence I've carried for a very long time. You asked for five things you didn't know about me, but I have to be honest with you. My journey hasn't just been about platinum records and sold out arenas. Behind the music lies a reality that has at times been completely soul crushing. Here are five truths about my life and the devastating challenges that shaped the voice you hear on those records. One, music almost ended for me in tragedy before Journey began. Long before the world knew my name, I was in a band called Alien Project. We were on the absolute verge of signing our first major record deal. We could taste the dream. Then the unthinkable happened. My bass player and dear friend Richard Polici was killed in a horrific car crash. It was shattering. The grief was so gut-wrenching that I completely abandoned music. I moved back home to the Central Valley, convinced that my voice was tied to a dream that had died with Richard. It took incredible coaxing from my mother and the manager of Journey to pull me out of that sorrowful darkness. My exit from Journey was rooted in agonizing physical pain. A lot of people think I just walked away from the band on a whim in the late 90s, but the reality was incredibly harsh. I developed a degenerative bone condition that literally deteriorated my hip. The physical pain was relentless and distressing, but the emotional pain was worse. While I was struggling to walk and facing major surgery, the pressure to simply fix it so the touring machine could keep running fractured my brotherhood with the band. Feeling expendable to the people you built a legacy with is a deeply crushing realization. Three, for nearly 2 decades, the music inside me died. Perhaps the most melancholic chapter of my life was the 20-year silence. When I left the spotlight, the music didn't just stop on the radio, it completely stopped in my head. Ugh. To be given a gift, a voice that connected with millions, and then to wake up one day and find that your passion has bled dry is terrifying. It was a slow, painful mourning of the man I used to be. I lived a quiet, isolated life, wandering through a desolate emotional landscape where my own voice felt like a ghost haunting me. 4. I was terrified of never feeling again. During that long exile, the numbness became a defense mechanism. It's a tragic thing when you realize you've closed your heart off to the world just to survive the expectations placed upon you. I didn't sing, I didn't write, and I didn't let people in. I was protecting myself from the harshness of the industry, but in doing so, I locked myself away in a self imposed, sorrowful prison. 5. My greatest love brought the music back, but delivered my greatest loss. This is the most tear jerking, devastating truth of my life. After decades of numbness, I finally found the absolute love of my life, Kelly Nash. But life is exceptionally cruel. I met and fell in love with Kelly knowing she was already fighting stage 4 breast cancer. We had a year and a half together, the most profoundly beautiful, moving months of my existence. Watching the disease slowly take the woman who finally unlocked my heart was soul crushing. It was a tragic, agonizing helplessness I wouldn't wish on anyone. When she passed away in my arms in 2012, it broke me down to my very foundation. The grief was, and still is, a heavy, suffocating weight. But before she left, Kelly made me promise her one thing, that I wouldn't go back into isolation. She told me, if something happens to me, promise me you won't go back into the dark. I keep that promise to her every single day. The pain of losing her is a harsh daily companion, but it's the price of experiencing a love that deep. So, when you hear me sing now, or when you hear those old Journey records playing on the radio, Know that the voice singing them was always searching, and eventually it was profoundly broken.